Hey there, Libra. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the flow right here on YouTube. This is a space where we grow together, we sow together, and we move together with the sole intention of becoming the best version of ourselves. I am Asmari, and for those of you who are new, this specific, I was about to say specificular, this specific Soulversation is targeted to all of the people who may have Libra as their sun, moon, rising, Venus, Jupiter, stellium as well, or if you have Libra as your north node, this reading may apply. If it doesn't, please don't try and make it fit. You can check out any of our other zodiac Soulversations on the channel. Now, funny story, Libra. This is the second time I started this video. The first time that I started, I shuffled the cards backwards. Like some of them were facing upright, then others of them were like facing downward.
A few minutes earlier.
So I feel like for you, Libra, that I don't know, like things have been halfway upright, halfway the other way around. That's what I'm getting, like like a jumble. Yes, that's the right word. Things have been jumbled. Like some of the things may look like they're the right way up, but then it's the wrong way up. Take that message as it applies, but I do feel like it's relevant to your life situation and what your soul would like you to know at this time. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been guided to this reading. Also, please note that all of these Soulversations that I do right here on YouTube are timeless. So whether you find this today or tomorrow or in 10 years, that's when it's supposed to apply for you specifically. Alrighty, Libra. Interesting. I feel like you've been able to see things in a way that you wouldn't have looked at it before. So with that example, like how I talked about shuffling the cards, and some of them were the right way up and some of them were like the opposite way up. Like whatever used to get you caught up in situations, or whatever used to just get you caught up in general, like you're choosing to see things as you choose to see them. Yeah, that makes sense. It made sense when I said it, so I'm sure it will make sense to you when you hear it, however you hear it, right? Alrighty, Libra, without further ado, let's get into your background energy. So we're gonna start off this Soulversation with the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So just off the top, first of all, you may have these signs specifically aspected not only in your own birth chart as your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Jupiter, north node, stellium, but these may be key star signs of people who are really influencing your soul growth and soul learning on this, school, like life school that we call Earth, right? So we have Libra, which is you. We have Taurus, we have Aquarius, we have Capricorn, Pisces, Leo, Sagittarius. Yeah, that's what I have so far. There's double Pisces, and there's Scorpio as well. Yeah, so double Pisces energy. So you may have key Pisces placements. There is double Libra energy, so that's again pointing to you. But then just needed to put that out there. For some reason I was called to do it, so I'm doing it. Alrighty, so here we are with the King of Swords and the Queen. Why did I say King of Swords? Okay, so this might be you, because the King of Swords is air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So I feel like you're transitioning from that King of Swords energy into the King of Wands energy, right? Where not only have you mastered how to be intelligental, as I have decided is my new favorite word, which is mastering how to use your logic from a heart space, right? And to me, if you ask me, mastering how to use your logic from a heart space is kind of very much like using your intuition. And so when you are able to work from a space where you're able to use your intuition, then you are moving from a space of love. You are moving from a space of Godfidence, so to speak, right? And that's what the King of Wands gives me. Somebody who is Godfident, somebody who knows what their mission is and is not afraid to go for it, right? This is somebody who doesn't apologize for the decisions that they make, because they know that they're making these decisions because they are led by God, right? And it's interesting because at the same time as you're making these decisions, you are able to also move from a space where you have healthy boundaries. So healthy boundaries from all of the people, places, and things which go out of their way to try and, kick you off your square or try keep you off balance. And that's really easy for Libras, because Libra, let's not lie, you in your lower vibration, and in your weaker moments, you may tend to people please. And so I feel like you're learning how to not be a people pleaser but still be a good person, right? So that's the energy that I'm getting over here. For others of you, a very small portion of you, there may be a fire sign energy who's really like has their eyes on you. I mean, look at this. Like, this guy is like absolutely staring at this person, and the Queen of Swords is like, moving on with life. I don't see you. So, yeah, that might be there for some of you, but it doesn't have to be. But here we are with the rest of your background energy, which is the Page of Wands and the Six of Swords. So, I feel like, Libra, you've really gone through it. In either one or more aspects of your life, right? And because you have been able to master that confidence that we were talking about earlier, and healthy boundaries, with love, then you have been able to make the decision to move on from things that wanted to keep you stuck, right? Move on from things that sought to hurt you and injure you. Like, literally, like, look at these swords. Like, this woman is being shielded, right, by her spirit guide, who's like guiding her to calmer seas. But then there are like swords being like thrown, or that were thrown at her, you see. So yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like you're choosing to just have healthy boundaries, continue to do what your soul leads you to do, and move on from the people, places, and things which decide to go out of their way to harm or injure you. And what I feel like that is, Libra, is then you manifesting in your highest energy, because we have the Justice card, which is you. Look at that. Justice and the devil. So this is you having justice over all forms of evil in your life. Evil can manifest in many ways, shapes, and forms. It could be you having justice over addiction. Maybe you have overcome addiction. It could be you having justice over narcissists. It could be you having justice over, just people, things that, like, as I said earlier, have been trying to hurt you for a really, really long time, and that used to succeed at doing that. For some reason, I'm hearing like this kind of like, you felt like you may have like sold your soul, by doing that, like people pleasing and stuff, and you felt like you were in a prison of sorts. But I feel like this is the universe telling you that justice is not only coming, but it is here, And so even if you may have felt that it's not like manifest in the 3D world per se, it has at least started on a soul level, right? Because here we are with the Hanged Man and the Four of Swords. What this is telling me is that continue to to follow your prayer practice, continue to follow your meditative practice, continue to follow your healing practice, because that has helped you look at the ways in which you may have sacrificed yourself for others, as so to speak. And that's that contract that I was talking about earlier, with regards to the way you show up in the world. So maybe you may have been like this overgiving person, whether, and this is a general reading, it could have been you were an overgiving person at work, you were an overgiving person in your family, you were an overgiving person in your relationships. And I feel like this is you finally being able to do that deep healing work by removing all of the people, places, and things that didn't have your best interest at heart, but were very ready to take everything away from you and keep expecting more of you without for some reason I'm hearing like, have you no shame? So like, without shame. Like, these are people who are shameful and they know they are, but they take advantage of like your good nature and that people pleasing nature that I talked about, or they took advantage of it until you decided that you had had enough. So it may have either manifested in your life as a serious injury. Some of you may have seriously been injured, hurt, some of you may have been driven to the brink of poverty. Some of you may have had like, your houses taken away from you, any type of material stability. This may have even been at work. You may have been fired. You may have been you may have had to deal with like a salary slash or something, because that was the way for those people in control to. That's the thing, they were trying to keep control over your life, like you had sold over your soul to them or something. And it's so interesting because I've been led a lot. My spirit guides have been showing me the importance of reading contracts. So make sure you look at the fine print, like whenever you sign a contract, any type of contract, like read all of that stuff. One sec. Yeah, just read all of that stuff through and through. Make sure you understand it before you dedicate yourself to anything, any person, anything, any situation, right? But here we are. This is such hopeful energy, because what this is telling me is that you had the courage to heal from your pain. Because healing is not an easy thing, right? And so if you were in a relationship with a narcissist, for example, a narcissist is unable to heal. Like, that's one of the scariest things to them. And so they choose the easier route, which is being a horrible person and dragging other people down to the depths of their pain because they don't have the strength to face. Here we are with the strength to face the darkness within them. And that's how somebody ends up becoming possessed or ends up becoming consumed by devil energy, by the demons within them. When you refuse to face your demons take possession of you. And so I kind of spoke about this energy on my podcast with regards to being able to sit in the darkness and being able to face your own darkness in order to let that darkness show you the light within yourself. So yeah, this is just an indicator and a validator if you haven't already, or you are on the path. This is just an encouraging message from your soul, letting you know that your strength and your courage to look at your ego and to look at your flaws and to, I'm hearing, be humble, sit down, be humble, sit down. So some of you might like Kendrick Lamar a lot, or that song may have specific messages that resonate with you. I'm going to link it, of course, in the description box below. But this is also having the strength to go for what you love. The strength to not only go for what you love, whether that's like career-wise, but also for the people that you love, like the people that resonate with you and the passions that you have. This is also having the strength to basically be happy and find happiness within yourself. I love it, I love it, I love it, because healing takes strength. It's so interesting. Like, nothing ever happens by mistake. Look at this, the strength card and the Four of Swords. I told you, the healing journey is something that takes strength. Strength. Like, it's not something easy at all. And I think that's why a lot of people, let me not say people, let's just say the programming of this matrix that we're in tells us that being vulnerable means weakness, but that's not the truth. Like, it's the absolute opposite. And I feel like that's what you're finding out, because we have the Tower and the High Priestess. You're finding out that everything that you ever knew was a lie. Like, all of the stuff that you were told about yourself and how you should function in the world, like, you're like, nope, that's not the truth. That's your truth. It's not my truth. And so you're learning how to distinguish between other people's truths and your truths. And I feel like with this as well, like, the universe is finally taking apart a house that was built on false foundations. Because let me tell you, it may have stood for centuries, because look at this tower. It looks like some medieval type of tower that was built in the 1800s. And so that's what I'm getting with this type of energy. This type of like generational belief system that was passed down from one person to another, to another, to another, that you knew inherently like there was something wrong with it, but like out of fear, this fear-based paradigm, and all of these quote-unquote demons that were coming out. It's so interesting. I feel like you need to listen to the podcast. Excuse me. Another sign, we are purging things. For me, whenever I sneeze, that's a sign of removing things that are not meant to be in my body, in my space. So, sign for you. I feel like you're releasing all of those beliefs, all of those things that you were told was the way you should live, the way you should be, the way you should function. And I feel like that's really beautiful. I feel like as well with the Empress and the Three of Pentacles, that for a lot of you, this started when you decided, or if you are deciding to go through the waters of healing your generational trauma, especially from your mother's side, because when the Empress comes out, to me that gives me matriarch energy, and it's so interesting. So you know me, I love searching for like root words and etymologies of stuff. Here goes as Marie searching what does the matrix etymology mean, and the matrix literally stems from the Latin word mater, which means mother, and like it means like womb, like cosmic womb. So these things that I'm telling you about, the programming was directly passed on to you from your mother. These beliefs, these kind of entrappings, so to speak, because before we were born into the world, we were taking in every food, everything, that was from our mother, right? And so it's not a shock that when you're born into the world and the beliefs that you end up having, even without the whole teaching, because the teaching comes from society reinforcing that, but society is reinforcing what your mother already believed, which is what her mother believed, which is what her mother's mother believed. You know what I mean? So this is like generational type of work that I'm talking about. For others of you, I feel that a lot of you are deciding to work on being your own parent, like reparenting yourself, because you're realizing as well, with love, that your mother doesn't really understand. She didn't even understand what it was to be a mother. And so a lot of things that I come across in this day and age is like how parents are like, oh, you're not a parent, so you don't understand, which is so hilarious, because I know many of us here who are watching, and not even who are watching, just in the world, have been in situations where we have dealt with adults who think that they're adults, but they don't understand the paradigms of life. And so, because they crave control so much, they don't value, or that, so that song "Be Humble, Sit Down" keeps coming again, where I feel like your parents may feel like your words are invaluable, like what you have to say and what you have to teach them are invaluable, and so you were probably punished for trying to teach your parents a better way. But it's so interesting because even in the Bible, in Ephesians chapter 6, it talks about how children are here to teach their parents. Even Whitney Houston talked about, the children being the future, teach them well and let them lead the way. There's a reason why Jesus himself said that children are the gateway to heaven. There's so many allegories, both in Christianity, in every type of religion. I'm just using Christianity because I grew up Christian, right? That show that children are here to teach us. And if in every moment we are not willing to be teachable, then that's when our demons possess us. Because your demons tell you, who is this to tell you that? Who is that doing this to you? You're the one who knows better. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, life is a school. You should always strive to learn. And I feel like that's the space that you're in. You're like, I'm going to just listen to my spirit guides and my guardian angels. Look at Archangel Michael coming out there with the Temperance card, and let them guide me to how I can become the most stable, most reasonable, most best version of myself. And that's why I created this channel. That's why I started the flow. And I feel like a lot of that has had to entail you walking away from all that you ever knew, walking away from your family, especially because your family went out of their way to cause you harm, not only bodily harm, physical harm, financial harm, all of that type of harm in any, and it depends because there are a lot of Libras watching. So for you, Libra, I feel like that type of harm could have come in many ways, if not all of the ways that I've spoken about. But the only way for you to have dealt with any of these things, for you to have healed any of this generational trauma, was to walk away from where you got hurt, because you can't heal in the same space where you got hurt. Do I hear an amen? So yeah, that was a very interesting reading, Libra. Thank you so much for spending time with me here. If you'd like to check out the rest of our love offerings, you can check down below in the description box. But until next time, Libra, namaste.